I'm Ben Meiselas from the MeidasTouch network. Donald Trump has unfortunately returned to the United States after fleeing the country during the E. Jean Carroll trial, and he has began posting once again on his social media platform disgusting and vile and very hate-fueled messages, and again spreading complete and utter disinformation, attacking prosecutors. Let's just take a look at some of the things that he has posted because they are so utterly despicable. And I know the large media networks like to normalize this behavior or just ignore it and act like these are just, as CNN says, unique positions. No, this is some deranged, fascist, not normal stuff that we in a civilized society need to call it out for what it is. This is what he posted. He goes, "Back in the USA, but sadly, I see so many really bad things happening to our country. The DOJ and FBI are destroying the lives of so many great American patriots right before our very eyes. The court system is a rubber stamp for their conviction and imprisonment. All this while the radical left protects and coddles extremists and murderers at a level and with intensity never seen before. Get smart, America. They are coming after you." This is pure scare tactics. This is pure fascism. This is pure projection right here as well. And I know that Donald Trump and the MAGA Republicans want to claim that it is a conservative idea to send congressional delegations to prisons where the January 6th insurrectionists are at and start singing songs with them. But that's called aiding and abetting terrorists right there. And let me be very clear what Donald Trump is referring to in this post. Remember what happened at the end of last week? The Proud Boys were convicted. 4 of the Proud Boys convicted of seditious conspiracy. All 5 were convicted of very serious felony counts for their role in the January 6th insurrection. He is sending this message to them that he thinks that that is unfair. He is sending this message to other domestic terrorists that he stands with them and against the police, against the FBI, and against the Department of Justice. What else happened over the past few days? Well, the Department of Justice also filed their sentencing memorandum relating to the Oath Keepers, where they're seeking about 25 years for the leadership of the Oath Keepers who were involved in the January 6th insurrection and who were convicted of seditious conspiracy and or other very serious felonies. So Donald Trump is basically saying in this message, I stand with all of you. I think that is unfair. I am not on the side of law and order. He's saying that he's on the side of domestic terrorists there. So just think about that. He's such a coward. He flees from the country during the E. Jean Carroll case, returns, and the first thing he posts is to let domestic terrorists know that he stands with them. This, as the MAGA Republican Party, stands with him. The whole Republican Party is cool with this and just supports this. It is utterly despicable. Let's take a look at some of the other posts that he made. Here, he posts a photo of all of the prosecutors in the various cases where he's either been criminally charged in the case of the Manhattan District Attorney or in the case of the Attorney General of New York. There's a civil case in Fulton County, Georgia, where there's a criminal investigation with respect to the Department of Justice with the ongoing criminal investigations of Jack Smith. Here's what Donald Trump writes. He puts a photo of all of these various prosecutors, and he goes, "These are the prosecutors that Merrick Garland and crooked Joe Biden have illegally unleashed on me in order to interfere with the upcoming 2024 election. They don't want me to get the nomination because they know I won twice, did much better the second time, and I'm also leading Biden being in the polls." That's not true. "How would you like to be simultaneously fighting this group of thugs, radical left, Marxist, racist, and lunatics? But it's what I do to make America great again again and save our country again. What a freaking madman, disgusting, despicable, criminal traitor this individual is, who's such a freaking coward, who abandons the country. He flees from this country to go to Scotland and Ireland. He doesn't even know how to shovel dirt, and he has to have people put dirt in his shovel because he can't even shovel. And then he hires bagpipers to play for him because he's not even wanted there, so he has to make himself feel wanted by them playing the bagpipes while he enters. Meanwhile, he's hired them. Then he comes back to our country to attack law and order, to attack prosecutors, and then to call normal Americans who care about our country, who care about law and order, lunatics and Marxists. I mean, how dare this freaking idiot traitor? And I'm just so sick and tired of large media networks. Well, let's give him a town hall. He's sharing some unique positions. It's like they don't even cover this stuff that he posts. All of this stuff right here should be absolutely disqualifying. Here's another post that he makes. He goes, "It's time to beat the radical left at their own game. Money does talk. Anheuser-Busch now understands that." First off, what are you talking about? Anheuser-Busch is just doing fine. "Great new book by Wayne Allen Root. Buy your copy today." And so this is what he promotes. The Great Patriot Boycott book. The great conservative companies to buy from and invest in, just like a total grift to begin with, and there's nothing conservative, as I've always said, about any of this authoritarianism style, whatever the heck you even want to call this. The winning game plan to fund conservative, patriotic, and Christian companies and defund leftist woke companies. You know, these idiots who call it canceling, where you criticize their racism, where you criticize their hate, where you criticize their harassment, where you criticize their criminality, and you go, hey, that's criminal. That's terrorism. That's horrifically racist. That's Russian propaganda. Oh, you're trying to cancel me. And they go, oh, you're trying to, no, I'm not trying to cancel you. I have a free speech right to criticize the fact that you are saying either criminal things or racist things or hateful things or Putin things. That's not canceling you. That's using my First Amendment right. Y'all are abusing your First Amendment right to spread and spew this hate. And mind you, the First Amendment deals with the government, not a private citizen, to criticize you for spreading this hateful stuff. And meanwhile, here they are basically writing books and promoting books about trying to cancel what they call leftist woke companies, which in their mind are companies that try to protect equity or promote equity or try to promote women leadership or try to promote diverse hiring and try to hire more black and brown candidates to make sure there's a more diverse work pool. And they go, oh no, that's a leftist and woke idea. Equality is a leftist and woke idea to these people. And then they go, because of that, we need to cancel them. We need to do boycotts. I mean, and then they promote it in books that they write. Here's another post that Donald Trump makes, and he posts Steve Bannon, who's been convicted of obstruction of Congress. Bannon goes, Trump won the 2020 election, full stop. MAGA knows this. The vast majority of Republican voters know this. Now, National Review desperately tries to have Trump's opponents turn it into a weakness. Never Trumpers, never learn. And then Trump responds to that and goes, the once respected National Review, which I guess billed itself as conservative, the once respected National Review is dead. The rhinos and stupid people killed it a long time ago. In other words, if you don't believe these horrifically deranged conspiracy theories of Donald Trump, if you want to live in your imaginary fantasy authoritarian world of Donald Trump and believe that 7 million votes were switched through satellites and, all this ridiculous tinfoil hat type of crap, if you don't believe in the Trump cult, then you're a rhino now. You're not, they say you're not a conservative. No, there's nothing conservative about these MAGA Republicans at all, period. This is just fascism. This is authoritarianism. You got Steve Bannon right now, who is also currently under indictment in Manhattan for the We Build the Wall scam, right? He set up a GoFundMe account saying that the money that I thought Mexico was supposed to pay for a border wall, but apparently it was going to be privately funded by a GoFundMe, but apparently that money then went to Steve Bannon and his other co-conspirators who didn't get pardoned by Donald Trump when the feds prosecuted Steve Bannon and the others. They pled guilty to like 4 years, and now Steve Bannon, who was pardoned at the federal level by Donald Trump's being prosecuted by the Manhattan DA, and Trump's reposting him. It's just a bunch of criminals. That's just who they are. It is criminals. Despicable. Donald Trump also writes, he goes, the special, quote, prosecutor is harassing and threatening my people over the documents hoax, while nothing is being done with respect to crooked Joe Biden's many times more documents, especially those stored in Chinatown and Delaware. Another Russia style witch hunt under the Presidential Records Act. I have done everything right, except that I probably should not have returned the documents until it was all settled. I had every right to have them, with the right also to declassify. I mean, look, everything here is utterly false and deranged right here. I mean, completely and utterly deranged. One, you didn't return them. That's why a search warrant had to be executed at Mar-a-Lago. You cherry-picked documents and had people sign false declarations under penalty of perjury saying all the documents were returned when they were not returned. That's why there had to be a search warrant. You literally went against every aspect of the Presidential Records Act. You've committed multiple crimes here, and it is just utter disinformation right here. And again, attacking special counsel Jack Smith here as well. And then here's another one right here where he basically attacks Jack Smith in a very similar way. He goes, the special prosecutor Jack Smith, who is harassing, threatening, and he goes terrorizing people who work for me, probably illegal and totally at odds with the way crooked Joe Biden is being treated, will no longer be known as the special prosecutor, but rather the special persecutor. He is a Trump-hating slimeball who is going far beyond the original instructions of the Department of Injustice. The witch hunt continues, as it always will, with the radical left country-destroying lunatics. I mean, again, if you're not part of the Trump cult, if you actually support real law and order, you're considered a radical left lunatic or a rhino. That is a hallmark of authoritarianism. As I've gone through this with you time and time again, everything that Donald Trump is saying here is absolutely false. But what Trump is terrified about is special counsel Jack Smith is also focusing on Donald Trump's relationship with the Saudi royal family. Their participation in the Live golf tournament, where they've paid Donald Trump a lot of money to have this golf tournament at his properties. It's the same Saudi Arabian sovereign wealth fund that gave $2 billion to Jared Kushner, even though Jared Kushner is not a wealth manager and has no history or ability to. They just gave him a check of $2 billion, which is an obvious, in my opinion, an obvious quid pro quo right there. But special counsel Jack Smith wants to focus on, and is focusing on, has Donald Trump basically been showing them documents? Is there quid pro quos there regarding Donald Trump's theft of government records and the Saudi Arabian royal family? When they show up, is it part of, Donald Trump having the leverage over, stealing government documents? So that's what Donald Trump's basically saying. Oh, they're terrorizing people. They're threatening and harassing people. No, when you will go on your social media platform and you target prosecutors and their families, and you gaslight your followers with all of these lies and basically engage in these stochastic terrorism, in essence directing them to harm people who are trying to uphold law and order, you are the one harassing, threatening, and terrorizing people. And frankly, every single day you harass, threaten, threaten and terrorize not just the United States of America, but the entire world. And we need to recognize the fascist threat that is Donald Trump. And you need to spread these videos around and share these videos and share the MeidasTouch network with everybody you know, because I know they're not getting this information on the large media networks. And all I'm doing is showing you what he's writing. Okay, yes, do I have an opinion about it? Of course I do. But this is the stuff that he's saying in his own words. And y'all can judge for yourself. Is that the person that you want to make life and death decisions for you, for your family, for your friends and coworkers and neighbors and colleagues and country and world? Absolutely not, in my opinion, but you decide for yourself. But let people know. Share these videos. Show them. Tell them. This is what is happening right now. This is what he's saying. Because, again, the media is not doing that. So that's what we do here on the MeidasTouch Network. Hit subscribe. We're on our way to 1.5 million subscribers thanks to your incredible support. Check us out at patreon.com/MeidasTouch as well. Wherever you get audio podcasts, subscribe to the MeidasTouch podcast as well. All right, hit subscribe on this YouTube channel. It is free, and have a great day.
Love this video? Then you'll love the MeidasTouch podcast. Listen as my brothers and I break down the latest news and chat with top political leaders on the fastest growing pro-democracy podcast in the world. New episodes drop every Tuesday and Friday. Add the MeidasTouch podcast right now wherever you listen to your podcasts.